are right on the balcony of a really cool Maisonette loft that sleeps 4 people that we're going to have a look at today. The loft is located in the center of Hamburg, right next to the big lake. So this is a really good location. If you like the video, please subscribe. So this is the living room. This apartment is meant for 2 to 4 people, and because today 4 people are moving in, the sofa has been transformed to a sleeping area, but normally this is the sofa area. And what's really cool about this apartment is that the owner and interior designer makes a lot of the things herself. So for example, she actually painted this painting herself, which I think is very amazing and gives you like a wow effect. This painting really is like the eye catcher of the room. As you enter the room, you are like amazed by this like abstract and wild black and gold painting. The color palette of this apartment is also held completely in blacks, beiges and gold, and it was kind of pulled from this painting, or this painting really like connects all of the different colors with each other, and that is really cool. And it is also the only like abstract free-flowing thing in this room, because everything else is quite square and has a lot of straight angles, and this is like the thing that kind of like breaks it up a little bit. Because this is a Maisonette apartment, which means that you basically have 2 floors that are like openly connected with each other. You have this really cool diagonal shape in the room, which also adds like a certain dynamic and breaks up this like squareness of the space. And if we go upstairs, we get to see the master bedroom. That is nice. Another trick that was used here that you can see below me is that the back wall was basically just clad in big mirror tiles. Mirrors are always the way to go because you always have a little bit more space. The space feels more spacious, you have more light, you have a lot of different reflections, and that just is really fun. And this really gives the apartment, like, on the one hand kind of an industrial style because you have all of the structure exposed. On the other side, it gives us like a very sleek, minimalistic look. The fact that not a lot of color has been used. So if you want to create a really modern apartment, the way to go is to use sleek lines, pick 1 or 2 colors and really stick to them throughout the whole entire design. And then you will achieve like this really modern, minimalistic look. Let's go upstairs. Oh, I love this plant. It really adds like a pinch of green, and it really like breaks up the rigidity of this place, which I really like. This is the master bedroom. Because this is a Maisonette loft, you have this kind of like balcony situation and you can overlook the rest of your apartment, or the rest of your living room. And I think this is quite cool. The second floor of this apartment was actually custom built. So this plateau was custom built and basically like inserted into a part of the building. Here you have less of the black colors and more of like really nice and warm neutrals that add a really warm and comfortable touch. And this is also, of course, good if it's a bedroom, so you can like wind down at night, go to sleep, and not have too many things going on. And here we have a little bit more space. So the bedroom is basically symmetrically to both sides, and the bed is just placed right in the center of the bedroom. And again, the opposing wall is completely clad in big framed mirrors that are framed in steel, and behind it you actually have a walkable indoor closet. We can have a look to store all of your things. And this is another trick that just really gives your apartment like a really clean look, to have, if you have the possibility, like big inbuilt custom furniture. This just really hides all of the clutter, all of the visual clutter behind one thing, and you feel like this is a wall, but actually a whole world hides behind it. An unlucky situation that was solved quite uniquely is the window that we have over here. So this actually used to be like a full frame old window all the way to the top. So the window was just basically covered here with a custom inbuilt cabinet, sideboard, and on top a TV was placed. So now this is your view. We have a really sleek and coherent color palette that is really used consistently throughout the design to create this like cohesion. For example, this golden abstract painting that was also painted by the owner and interior designer, or these like golden lamps. So yeah, even if you have just 1 or 2 colors in your design, you can just by using the same color type of details and accents throughout the design, you can really achieve like a holistic and thoughtful design. Let's go inside the kitchen. An example that I think where you can like really see like the different size and repetition and scaling and how to do it quite well is that here you have 2 differently golden bowls that are placed on each side, and they create a symmetry. But to not make the design feel too static and too boring, they are two completely different bowls. So like they differ in scale and size. They are only connected through color and the same geometry. I think this is a success. Let's continue. You have a lot of space. It is at the same time both the kitchen and the dining room area. And I think the layout of this room is simple but also kind of genius, because you have like a kind of evenly square-shaped room where just a very big slab of wood has been added in the center as a table, and this really is like the anchor point of the room. The rest of the things in this room were just really like placed around it. So you have on each side 3 chairs that are also like gray, this like modern neutral style, and you have a big slab of wood. Behind me we have the kitchen that is also completely clad in black. Because the whole wall is black, the kitchen kind of fades into the background. It's very modern. Again, you have a really nice gold sinks. I need to ask the designer where she got it from, because that's just really cool. You even have a gold knife. I think it doesn't get better than this. You have, again, all of these inbuilt situations that we talked about before. You have here a niche that has like a custom bread box, coffee box. Everything is named, everything is really, the attention to detail here is mind-blowing, because everything is just exactly the way that's supposed to be. Or even just the fact, if you have a look, that this sideboard kind of seamlessly integrates into like the window sideboard thing. Or if you have a look down here, here we have like a wine fridge. How do I open this? Here we go. I think that's quite cool. It's very cool. And here we can have a small glimpse into the outside greens that just really, green colors just make you happy. Of course, if you have a big room such as this, you always need big lamps to really like anchor the space and like kind of balance the different geometries. So if you have a lot going on in a big room at the bottom, you need to kind of balance this out with the things that are going on in the air. And 2 very big industrial lamps were added. And I think this is also really nice, because adding 2 or 3 lamps of the same and like hanging them in a row always gives a room, in my opinion, a better effect than just hanging just one very big lamp. Or at least here it suits very nicely, and it really like symmetrically frames this room. So this is the big bathroom. You have this big sink that is placed upon a giant slab of real wood that feels structurally quite nice. And because here everything is really like inbuilt and custom made, you have the piece of wood basically goes from one side to the other side. The mirrors also perfectly custom frames, like everything feels like structurally right, and everything feels like it really has a lot of quality, and that's really cool. So this is a thing that you might know from hotels, that the mirrors in hotels are always framed on both sides. That in hotels you often have like 2 lights placed on both sides of the mirror, and then you always have this like perfectly glowy look. You just have this perfect soft light. This just gives you like a really nice glowy atmosphere in your bathroom. Also, this looks like it has come from Bali. This is definitely more of a unique sink and tap. You have a shower that is very modern. Over here you have a bathtub, again with gold accents. Gold vintage accents. As with the rest of the apartment, not a lot of colors have been added. You still have the same color palette of this like dusty grayish beige with cheeky gold accents, which is really nice. This is just like a really good attention to detail, that you can see that whoever did this really thought about everything and didn't just loosely go away with their, like loosely decide on different things, but just like really stick to their ideas. Here we have another powder room. And even though it's small, I think it's definitely worth having a look, because it's just completely painted in gold. And I think it doesn't really get much better than this. And you have this like plaster technique that really gives it like a lot of vibrance and a lot of life. Thank you very much for watching the video. If you liked the video, please subscribe. Make sure to check out last week's video that I will link below. And as for always, thanks for watching, and see you next week.